What's up, Gemini? This is Jesse with 44 Astro with a full moon tarot reading for August 30th through 31st is when the full moon will happen. This will be a super blue moon. Super means it's going to be 14% closer because the moon has an elliptical orbit. So in certain parts of that elliptical orbit, it's closer. And when it's in perigee, it's as close as it can get. And that's where it will be. It will be in perigee. And blue moon basically just means once in a blue moon, the saying 2 full moons in a month. Along with that, it will conjunct Saturn. And Saturn will also be as close to Earth as he can possibly get. And he is rough energy, so we're going to feel him. The conjunction will start in Aquarius and it will go all the way over into Pisces. The moon will be at its fullest at 7 degrees Pisces. And the conjunction will be opposite the sun. The sun has been opposite Saturn for a little while in Leo, and he's moving into Virgo now because the sun is in Virgo. So this is all going to be about healing. The mansion of the moon will be in is the 27th mansion. It's called Alfarg Altani. I'll put a little picture of it here so you can read about the mansion of the moon, what it's good for, what it's not good for. What it's not good for is travel or starting new projects. You don't want to travel or start any new projects. It is good for healing. It is good for commerce, like making money. But you can read about it. I'll have a little picture of it up. Yeah, but this is going to be a rough one for this conjunction because Saturn is the great malefic. He tests boundaries. Because he's touching the moon, it's going to affect our inner world. And because it's opposite the sun, it's going to bring things from our inner world or our unconscious world to light, which can be a good thing, can also be a bad thing. It can also be about secret enemies, things like that. Loss, because the Pisces is about loss. And into Virgo, Virgo is really about service, and it's also about physical health, individual health. Pisces can also be about healing and service. So this is going to be a lot to do with healing in some way. The moon can represent the mother, so it being conjunct the moon. It could be you find that there's an ailment in your mother and that it is brought to light, and so that it can be healed. It's a good time for that. I know my wife is actually going through that right now with her mother, interestingly enough. But there's going to be a lot of boundaries tested. Our inner world and our faith is going to be tested. It's going to be brought out in our inner world in some way. As far as the houses for Gemini, only if you are a Gemini ascendant. It will be in the 10th and 9th house, I think. Yes, it'll be 10th and 9th house, depending on the degree of your ascendant, and that's where your houses start. 10th house is your vocation, so don't be surprised if this is affecting in your work some way. Maybe something comes to light at work that was a secret in some way, or you find that somebody was talking behind your back at work, like some kind of secret enemy at work, and that comes to light. And if it's 9th house, it's all about justice and truth, which means like some kind of your truth and your justice will be tested in some way. You know, your inner world will be tested into your outer world. Like, do the things you believe, feel, and think about when presented with the opportunity to display them in the world, will you? So that's what Saturn does. He'll test us in those ways. And he could bring trouble in certain ways. But anyway, here's the and it doesn't have to all be trouble. You know, it can be a good thing if we take the lessons. Let me get you a moon card right here. Since we're doing a full moon reading, kind of see what energies we're dealing with here. For Gemini. Go right there. Okay, so this is nothing yet set in stone. Mutable moon, and you are a mutable sign because Gemini is a mutable sign. Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, Virgo is all mutable. That means moving energy. Okay, so your current situation or question looks like it has something to do with travel. It says nothing is set in stone, but looks like you're trying to manifest some kind of travel, maybe, or you want to go somewhere or you're trying to move away from something. It's definitely. It looks like you're manifesting travel, like you want to travel somewhere. Maybe with the air sign. I mean, you are an air sign. Could be you. You wanting to manifest a travel or a move from home, something like that. The current path is all about a journey. You know, it's a new journey, the current path you're on. But it could be that you're moving house and it's causing you a lot of stress, or you're trying to go on vacation or something and you're stressing yourself out about it because you have the 8 of Swords here with the 9 of Swords. So whatever this new journey you're trying to take, you're worried about it in some way. You could be worried that you're going on a new journey and you're worried about what's going to happen. Could be keeping you up at night, dreams about it. And that's another thing. Pisces is dreamy energy, right? And that Saturn is going to be in that house, or not in that house. Your house will be 10th or 9th, but it's going to, if you're ascendant Gemini, it's going to be in Pisces, which is very dreamy energy. So you could have very vivid dreams at this time. Like psychological issues could be coming to the surface, to the sun, and you can work them out and talk about them, that kind of thing. Could also be actual physical elements in yourself you can learn about in some way, and then you bring them to the light and heal them. But yeah, so I mean, you could be having bad dreams. I mean, I imagine a lot of us are gonna have some pretty rough dreams with this alignment, no doubt about it. Because I mean, Saturn's a rough planet, and our Pisces rules kind of the dreamy world with Neptune, and so does the moon. It's your inner world, your unconscious world, and that's the path that you're on. It seems to be you're worried about some kind of trip or travel or move. This other path you can choose to be on looks like it's got transformation. Looks like it has death or transformation. And with this card, I mean, it could actually be a physical death because, look at him. It's almost like it's a tomb. The Four of Swords. I have to mention that, but this is a different path. This isn't the path you're on. It could be some kind of death of someone or someone in your family in some way. Or some kind of change or transformation or death has got you very upset on this path. And that could be what you're worried about, right? Could be someone passed in your family, a friend, something like that. I know it's specific. It could just be a drastic change, like transformation of where you live, like if you're moving and you're really worried about it, whether it's going to work out, that kind of thing. It looks like you're disappointed. Mind my dog running around. This is the advice. This is saying end the cycle. Start new on a solid foundation, because you have the Ten of Swords, the Ace of Rods with the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, he's an opulent king. He's very stable grounds. It's basically saying end the cycle. So whatever this is, it needs to end. Like whatever you're moving away from, whatever the question is that you're moving away from that you're worried about, whether it's actual moving somewhere, whether you're in any relationship, something inside yourself. It could be a death of someone you're really worried about it. It could be a death of a relationship. It could be the death of living, a transformation, the death of the old way of life or wherever you lived and moving into a new place. So it's saying, hey, end the cycle. End the cycle, start new. On solid foundations. Whatever this ending is, it's some kind of ending. Because the outcome's looking great. Like you can't see it yet. With all the worry that you have, you can't see it yet because the moon's here. And the moon is going to be obscuring a lot of things for us with Saturn overshadowing it. The sun's going to try to bring as much to light as he can. And in astrology, Saturn really represents Satan, and the sun represents the son of God or God, as far as a microcosmic version of those things in our physical world. Just like we're a microcosm of the solar system, and the solar system is a microcosm of something bigger, and the universe is a microcosm of something even bigger, even though it's hard to fathom or contemplate, but it's the way it works. That's why a cell in our body looks like a solar system. But yeah, you have the Ten of Pentacles. That's happy home card. That's inheritances. That's having all the money. That's, it's a really good card. You got the moon, which means you can't see it yet or could be held in secret in some way. And with the moon in Pisces in this full moon, it makes a lot of sense because the moon is a Pisces card in the tarot. And that's for good reason, because Pisces are dreamy energy. They don't really know their boundaries of things. And so that's why it's secrets, because they don't really know how to individualize themselves. They don't know how they're role because they think everything is supposed to be expansive and together as one. And they're right, in a way, it is all together as one, but you also have to live an individual existence. So it can be really hard to find your own place when you're living like that. But yeah, I just don't think you can see it yet, but it looks like the world is yours. You got 10, and you got a 10 with, you got two 10s in the reading, but you also have it with the world, which is also an ending. It's got two 10s on it, right? 10, 10, XXI, which is 21, but yeah, looks like you're going to have the world, Gemini. I think you're worrying, and I think you may be worrying needlessly. I mean, not necessarily needlessly. I mean, it's okay to mourn. If it is a death, or if it is the ending of something, like some kind of cycle for you. And it's saying nothing is set in stone, though. So that may be what it is. You're worried about something. You think maybe you've got some kind of preliminary news about something really bad, and you're worried. Maybe you're worried someone is sick, and you're worried about them dying. Like I said, with this moon, it could be your own physical health, and it could also be with the mother, because the moon does represent the mother in astrology. So it could be that maybe you learned that someone was sick in some way, but it was maybe a misdiagnosis or something like that. Or it gets brought to light and it gets healed, and they're just going to be just fine. It could be something like that. There we go. There we go. That's where we wanted to go. These three wanted to jump right out. And we're definitely going to go over here with this. Yeah, it looks like you're just worried. Looks like you're disappointed. I mean, you got the Five of Cups again because it's over here on the... I wanted to check out the 9 and 8 of Swords. You got the 7 of Swords, which, you know, and this is called futility. And you have this, the 5 of Cups is just called disappointment, if you can see that. It's just disappointment. And then this is a Prince of Rods. So it's, you know, I feel like you're trying to move forward in some way because that's definitely a forward-moving card. It could be the worry. It could be about a fire sign, but most likely it's just about moving forward, whatever you're trying to move toward, being worried about it, feeling like it's whatever you're moving toward or trying to make progress in. Maybe you feel like things are just getting in your way, and you feel like you just can't win because you're like really disappointed, and you feel like it's futile. You know, in the progress you're trying to make, but I don't think it is. It's saying nothing is set in stone. So like whatever it is that you think you're feeling is happening, you're feeling is getting in your way. It is, but I think it's just getting you ready for something bigger and better because it's all going to work out. I mean, you can see it right there in the last three cards. It's all going to work out. Oh, right there, boom. These two definitely want to show up. Okay, well. Yeah, well, you know, could be with a Capricorn, but. You know, the movement, I mean, it could be in love. I don't really see a lot of emotional and love cards here. But if you're looking for love, I mean, what you could be worried about is your love life and your relationship. Maybe you're feeling like you're being chained to it in some way. That's because this is on the question. So you have the Lovers with the Devil, right? So those two cards mirror each other in a lot of ways in the normal tarot deck, right? In this, it doesn't really mirror each other as much. It's more of the generative principle in this, because if you look, it looks like a phallus and, I mean, two testicles in there if you look. It's really more of like a creative card, like a generative card, but it's being like a slave to it. But you also have the Ace of Rods, which is like very passionate, strong energy, and you also have the Lovers. So the question could be about something like that. It could be like, whoa, you know, you have this interaction with someone, whether it new or whether with just the person that you're with, male or female, and it's like it's passion, it's love, but maybe you feel like you're chained to it in some way, or maybe you feel like that it's not a healthy relationship in some way. Maybe you're trying to decide to move from it. Even if you were single, it's just somebody kind of hooked up with. Maybe you're having feelings for them, but they're having feelings for you. Maybe you don't feel the same way, and that's why you're trying to move away, or you're worried that you got together quickly, and maybe that you're worried that it won't actually work out, and you feel like maybe that you gave of yourself and that it was for nothing. But I don't think it is. I think that if it was something like that, and you feel like maybe it's not, that either they're not taking it serious as you are, or vice versa, I think it's still going to work out. I think that's what's coming to you. You may be worried about that, or you know, it may be that you met someone else and that you connected with them in a very, very, you know, you're very strongly connected, passionate in some way, and that, you know, it's going to be the death of the old relationship. Maybe you're in another relationship already, or something along those lines, or maybe it's you and your partner are going to move away in some way. That's what it is. Maybe you feel chained. You and your partner feel chained to the place that you're at, and you're like, we want to leave. Like, and you're trying to manifest that, a big move, like buying a home or something like that, because that, you know, that's all in this card right here, and it says it's coming. You can't see it yet because the moon's there, but it's coming. And it's saying end whatever the situation is. So if you're worried, I mean, if you know, even if it's just you that's wanting to move forward, if you are single, you know, it's saying end the cycle, right? Because maybe when you move forward, you know, you may find the love you're looking for. But at the same time, if you are a couple with someone and it's like, hey, we want to move forward, like away from this place, start new, get a new job, all these types of things, but you're really worried about what that may entail because you're worried, you know, it's going to work out. Things generally work out. It looks like it's going to be all good. Like, you can't see it because, I mean, you can't. Most of us can't see the future. I imagine many of us, especially on YouTube, claim that they hear voices and can see the future. But it is what it is. I just let the cards kind of do the speaking, and then what I read in them kind of comes through me, but I'm not claiming to be any super clairvoyant or anything. If you want to watch my video on how to read natal charts, it's under the astrology part of my channel. It'll explain to you how I connect to the other side. It's all in my astrology. It's more, for me, it's more of an instant thing. It's not having to think about it or hear voices or anything like that. But it looks like it's going to work out. I mean, it's saying nothing is set in stone. So, like, I feel like that if you're chained, whatever situation you feel like you're chained to with this devil, whether it's like you feel chained to a relationship or you and your partner feel chained to a place or a job or something like that, or both, or all those things, nothing's set in stone. You can make a change, and it's going to be good. Like it's saying make the change, big time. I mean, I almost don't even really need to clarify anything else. I don't feel like I do. It feels very straightforward. I think you're worried about it. And that's natural. I mean, who wouldn't worry about a big change like that, whether it be, being single again or just moving home or place, or, being at a place or a home that you love. Maybe you live with your family and your loved ones and you love them, but, it's time to move on kind of thing. And you're worried about what it's going to be like to be out on your own. But, that's what life's all about. It's about change. Ooh, it's about discovery, Ending of a cycle. Yeah, I mean, I did the Ten of Swords just to do the Ten of Swords. It's got the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Emperor on it. The Emperor is I think, and being on the ending of the cycle and like building firm foundations, it's saying take charge of your life, right? And with the Four of Swords, it's saying truce. It's like a place of rest, and you have it up there in that other path. You have the Four of Swords as well. It's like, I mean, anytime you're making a big change, there's always going to be a transition phase and a phase of rest. And what it feels like, maybe you're in that transition phase, like maybe the change has already been happening, and maybe you feel like you're failing. All right, that's what it feels like in the transition phase, but I don't feel like that's what it is. This is Seven of Pentacles. And I think because you're in that transition phase, whatever it is, that in-between stage before you make the leap to the next thing, that's why you can't see it yet. But it's all good. Like, you're going to be fine. Like, either way. And if it's the death of a loved one in the family, like on this other path here, for some of the other Geminis, I mean, the Gemini, the vast, I'm speaking in a collective sense. That's why I'm going over so many scenarios. So on the path that some that I'm speaking to or be on will be this new journey, maybe out on their own, and they're worried about it. And it could be this other path over here. It could be Geminis that actually had a death in the family, or, it's the death of something in kind of a transition and rest period. And anytime you're making a big move or a big change, it's going to be some kind of transition or rest period. And those are always the time we're going to worry, because when you have all that time to yourself, that's when you're going to do all the thinking and the worrying, Yeah, see, it just came out of its own. I don't even need to clarify anymore. Like, it's just worry, but it's going to work out. Like, I can see it for sure, Gemini. That's really all I have, Gemini. Please consider liking and subscribing and commenting. It means a lot. We're trying to build the subscribers of the channel so that I can invest more. I've already been investing into the channel. I bought video editing software, and I even made any money off the channel. And I even made an astrology video, and I said I wasn't going to make any until I got monetized. But I can't help myself. This is a labor of love and a passion of mine. But anyway, Gemini, if you don't want to like, subscribe, and comment, that's fine. I'm just grateful that you're here. Either way, I hope to see you next time. Have a happy full moon, Gemini.